All right, welcome to episode 23 of 21st Century Rocker Mom podcast. We have very special guest and co-host, Ms. Morgan Lander in the house. Hi.
Hello. This
How
is
are
so
you?
official. This is so funny. Yay. Like, are we gonna is this gonna be like now we're like in official interview mode? Whereas like literally before the intro, we were just like chatting away.
No, it's going to be the same.
Okay, good. All right. I'm good then. I'm ready.
I don't want to interview you.
I brought my feet for all the foot fuckers out there.
I brought mine too. They're fucking look at my tools.
Is that a hole in your slippers?
That's many holes.
You've been wearing those for a long time.
Rob's like, do you want some new slippers? And I was like, no. He's like, come on. I'm like, no.
But your feet are actually coming out of them now, so you probably should.
He ordered me some against my will. Forced slippers.
That is forcery. So nice of him.
He's so sweet. I know. It was really nice of him. He wants to take good care of my feet.
Yes, it's an important thing.
He orders me some fun, weird vegetarian shit at fucking like 11 o'clock at night. Got some Bangkok pad thai.
Ooh, damn, girl.
I was like, yeah, I'll take some of that weird tofu and some vegetables and some chicken.
Some of that weird tofu. Tofu's delicious.
Oh, they do this stuff to the tofu. I don't know what they do to it, but I can't replicate it. So I'm like, give me some of that weird tofu.
They're like whatever they do to it.
Oh my God, it's like so magical and like crispy on the outside and fluffy. I can't even replicate it in my air fryer. It's just this particular restaurant does such a good job.
I like that. You know, you can buy fried tofu in a package like at United. If you go to the United supermarket, they have like the tofu in a pack and it's already pre-fried. So you can just like heat it up, fry it up, and you could probably put it in the air fryer, which I haven't done, but I'm sure it would like reconstitute it and then that would be great.
Oh shit. It'd be like tofu
just
chicken
change everything.
Oh my God, like that just
yeah.
Like done. Yeah. Oh, I guess I know where I'm headed. United. Yeah. We are united. I need to unite myself with that fried tofu.
I used to buy it.
The only thing I will ask you is how do we know each other? You tell me.
Oh my God, how do we know each other? Well, you came into my life years ago because of my sister and Fallon. By the way, I'm really sorry about my cat Bill. He's like howling at the door right now.
Oh, don't complain. He loves it.
Hear him? He's like going to do it for the entire time. He's very needy. He needs attention.
Well, you know what? Guess what? I have kids, so
I know you understand.
I'm gonna say I get that thing about the meowing and the neediness.
Can you hear that? He's insane.
A little tiny bit.
Oh my God.
A little bit.
Crazy
not
Bill.
much.
Anyways, back to the story here. So yeah, because of Mercedes and Fallon, you guys all went to high school together, and I actually went to a different high school. And Mercedes and Fallon and I had started Kittie in 1996, and I don't exactly remember what month it was, but I do recall by the first year of high school for you guys, for Mercedes anyways, that they met you at school, and also like I think it was like a tea party concert or something. That was like the first time that you guys hung out. And and then the rest is history. It was like we were looking for like a fourth member for the band to like play bass. And it just so happened that you are a incredibly talented musician and human being. And so no, like we've known each other for years and years and years. Since I was like 15.
Oh my God, 15. And I like chained your ass to like a toilet paper roll. Like that was handcuffed your ass to it.
Doing all our gothic like photography school. Photography class photo shoots, and I was like, I
can't imagine like I can't imagine high school if we were in it now. We would be in so much shit.
Different thing.
Oh my God, like there'd be hashtags all over it. Like number one, there is social media now and like Instagram. That was not alive and well when we were in high school.
No, it was a very different time.
But like the shit we did, like even photo class, I remember taking photos of you. I was like, can I take photos of you for my photo project? And you're like, yeah.
And I like got all dressed up and like sat in a bathtub and looked sad. That's what we did.
I like painted like black tears down your face. Like you're in some like church burning band. Like
it was very goth. Very.
And like we even like, we made you like light a cigarette. Like you didn't even smoke it. You just lit it. Cause we bought it from Flinton's.
Yeah.
You're like, and then for like your 30th birthday, I was like, here's all those pictures and the negatives.
You're like, thank you. Amazing. I still have them around somewhere. I actually, you know what? I was thinking I probably should have done this. But if you want for like after the fact, I can take photos of all these pictures that we're talking about and you can flash them up on the screen.
Oh my God. You want to put that on the internet?
Yeah,
oh my God. You chained to a toilet paper roll in your underwear with a cigarette in your hand.
I was in my underwear, wasn't I? Oh, that was.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
yeah.
We can do some of the headshots. Yeah, we totally had you in underwear. Because I was like, you're like, what do you want to do for this photo session? I'm like, light some candles, strip, put on some makeup.
Yeah, and it's like, we're just pals, you know, having a good time. We went into the bathroom at my parents' house in Byron and we got weird. It was awesome.
It was fun. So like some of that, the candlelight stuff turned out good too. We spent a lot of time like in a lot of graveyards, like doing that as well. I remember you and I specifically like hanging out in graveyards a lot and doing photography.
Yeah, I mean, I still do.
So do I
remember the graveyard by your mom's place.
Mm-hmm.
Remember there was a graveyard up the street, like on the main street there. And remember there was a couple of really creepy old tombstones. I remember, and one of them was broken
by the Montessori school.
Yeah, and I always remember being like, I really want to steal that tombstone.
Yes.
I then, not thinking back now, like I was a little bit much, but like that was just like who we were back in high school. We loved to fucking cause so much shit, and we were so dark and spooky. It's like, oh, let's steal some like 1800s gravestones, and like, but what are you gonna do with that? Put it in your fucking room, like, and look at it.
Meanwhile, like, puts a fucking curse on, like, you're cursed for fucking forever. It's a good thing you didn't take it, because I used to hang out with a girl in public school that lived her parents' house was like behind that graveyard, and they used to have raspberries at the back of the graveyard that like grew through the fence because they were probably like so well fertilized with all the bodies.
Oh yeah, corpse berries.
So we used to call them dead berries.
Oh my God.
And we wouldn't eat them. They would grow through her fence, through her parents' pool, and her parents would be like, don't eat those.
Oh,
those are dead berries.
They were fine. You probably have more to worry about dogs pissing on the bush rather than corpses.
Total dog piss bush, or like cat spray, or like raccoon poop, or some shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, but I totally remember that, because it was across from where like Brick Street School was, because we'd walk everywhere, because of course, why the fuck would we drive? Because we were like lazy and didn't have driver's licenses.
Yeah, we
relied on our parents. We were just relying on our parents to drive us everywhere, or like Mercedes, because like she got her license like before any of us, because she was like, I'm excited to drive, I'm good to drive. Everyone else was like, I'm good.
Yeah, fuck driving. I never did actually. I never did. I'll be 40 and I still never got my driver's license.
You never got your full?
No, I have my beginner's license.
You were driving for a while. I remember you were driving for a little while.
And then I stopped. And then COVID happened too, because I was like, for a while there, I was getting into like learning, and I have had my driver's test booked for like last summer, and then that. Oh wow.
Well, nothing's fucking happening. And I mean, I wouldn't go for it anyway. I'm like, I'm good. Where the fuck are you gonna go?
Well, that's kind of it. I mean, like, I guess maybe it makes me like a little bit of a loser for like my entire life, because I don't drive. But
I know tons of people that, honestly, I know tons of people that don't drive. Honestly, more people I know do not drive than do. I'm being dead serious.
I've certainly saved a lot of money in car insurance. Like,
and think about like what you've done for the environment. Like your carbon footprints. You got to think, don't think about yourself like a loser. I'm a loser because I don't drive. Like your carbon footprint's probably like this big.
It's smaller, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've done like, so not driving is not actually that horrible.
No, I don't think it is.
And like
some people are like,
your partner drives. Like just like too, if I don't feel like driving, there's always Rob. Like my partner will drive me somewhere. I'm like, hey, can we drive? If we need to go somewhere with the kids, I know that he can drive, even if I didn't. You know what I mean? There's someone around. There's always, or you got your sister around. There's always someone around to drive. So it's not. Yeah. I wouldn't be worried about it.
Well,
I wouldn't be worried about it at all. I'm just driving around doing weird shit.
Yeah.
It's probably good that most of us didn't have our licenses like that back young.
Then?
Because I feel like we just would have been driving around fucking yelling at people, because we like walked around and did it.
Or like when, say for instance, my dad was driving us to our shows, we'd like open up the doors of the van and yell out the windows and shit at people.
Come see Kittie in the embassy!
Like, slide the door open and just yell at a bunch of like weird people on the corner at Dundas and Adelaide there.
Or we do it like in the middle of downtown Toronto, because that was smart.
Oh yeah.
We know no one. We're just at a stoplight and we're just like, let's open up all the doors and just talk to everybody.
Yeah, scream. Hello, and everybody. Yell. But like I think that attitude is what got things going for the band. Like,
I agree.
Like, we never would have been signed. We never would have been on the path that the band eventually went on. And if we were a little more introverted and shy, like the reason why everything happened was because Jason Weiner and his stupid hat. Like,
oh my God. Well, he just let us be ourselves.
Yeah. It boggles my mind that like at Canadian Music Week, we were like just harassing people, like as we always did. And his Jamiroquai hat was what made all of this happen. Like we harassed him. We fucking gave him flyers. We were like, come see our show. But we also made fun of his hat. We were like, this is ridiculous.
We took it. We like stole it from him, like wore it and like took pictures.
Yeah, this is like a fun for Jamiroquai hat, like a real tall kind of hat. He probably thought he was so...
Like, but he was probably like, poor guys, like sent down here from like the record company, like as this like a scout or whatever.
Yeah.
To kind of like, you know, look at possible potential talent. And he runs into this like, gaggle of like psychotic teenage girls.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we were like,
I couldn't imagine being him at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. We were way over the top. I remember there was like, we got to the hotel and it was like in the Weston Harbor Castle too.
Yeah, which is like fucking.
It was like, for us, it was like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Like David Crosby was like walking by. I was like, what the fuck? Was that David Crosby?
Yeah. Or like, remember the Moffats were there and I think we yelled at them.
Oh yeah, we did. We harassed the shit out of them.
But that was like
really, dude, I'd probably still yell at the Moffats. They're like,
I certainly would. They're
fundamentalist Christian. I'm good. I'm good with that super.
That's fine.
They just keep walking out. Birth control. Oh my God. Yeah. I guess that was the Lord's vision for the Moffats.
Yes.
For their wives' vaginas to keep puking out children.
Continue to fucking, I'm sure somebody will say something to them, I'm sure.
Be fruitful, motherfuckers.
It was so crazy. Like that was the like hub of Canadian Music Week, and like that's where all the like famous people were schmoozing and all the people, the bands.
Buzz.
We were just in the middle of it, and because we looked crazy and we acted like
we were crazy
out there, that like people noticed. Like we had our like our big tall, you know, we had our boots and our like short skirts and like wearing all black and just like a bunch of crazy like goth chicks yelling and
I have pictures of like you and me like tangoing and I'm wearing like devil horns.
Yeah,
like just doing the tango
and a slip, you know, like
I'm wearing underwear in which I wear under fucking
just
wear.
Underwear, like a sheer
red.
Mom. Yeah, it was like a sheer red. Was it black? And you were wearing
that black thing with the red underwear. I have that picture. I'm gonna put that up when I like do the episode hyping and everything. Well, that picture's going up because I'm in my underwear. I don't give a shit. It's so funny.
Oh my God, I love it.
That was from Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah,
that was from.
I remember
when I sucked some face with Jerry Only.
Oh my God, like how crazy is that? That was like that was over 20 years ago.
It was way over 20 years ago. I don't want to put age into it, but
I know, but like it boggles my mind. That was an incredible festival that we did though. Like it was like like it was big, but it still felt low key. Like I remember
it did feel really low key.
It was 1999 in the summer, and I remember Danny Filth was walking around, and we were like,
yes. He was like, hello. I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's adorable.
So he still is. He's an adorable human. But like, so cute. Just like walking around, seeing cool bands. I remember there was like a Relapse Records stage, and we saw some of that. And that was really cool. Like, seeing Nosm play.
Nosm play was like the crown of my life. They were so fucking crazy. And I remember specifically seeing Nosm play. And because I was buying like those Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles magazines every month.
And they always had the CDs. Yeah.
Yes. And that's how I'd been introduced to like Nosm, and we heard like Today's the Day and certain bands that we've been introduced to. We hadn't heard to. Absolutely. Niall was from that kind of like era, and like I think like there was Nothing Face was on that, on a lot of those compilations, and we started hearing about like other bands that were like new metal, but new metal, and like getting into that
and more
end of the 90s
stuff too.
Absolutely, like really crazy, and like Static
Niall's
X and, like,
fucking serious. Like they're like
Niall's insane,
Egypt.
but Nasm was like fucking crazy, and like basically it's like growling, and it sounds like so much Cookie Monsterness. And
you know how exhale. That was,
and it's like crazy.
That was the one I remember. That was the first song that I heard because of one of your Brave Words. What was it? Was it called? Like, was it?
Oh, what were the CDs called?
Knuckle Tracks, I think it was called.
Yeah, it was called Knuckles.
Yeah, Knuckles. Yeah. I don't know why. Oh, because of Brave Words, Bloody Knuckles.
Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles.
But which of course I mean, it still exists now. And Carl from Brave Words is somebody that I would consider a friend, and he always is really awesome about covering music stuff or whatever. But like back when magazines were a real, like tangible thing, like you had to go to 7-Eleven and you could buy Brave Words, and then they'd include the CD, and it was more for extreme music, but they were also covering a little bit of new metal. So I feel like that was like a really awesome way that we were introduced to like a lot more like music. And like some of my fondest memories of like those times are like sitting in your bedroom in Westmount and like just listening to like all the Brave Word stuff, and like we would listen to like Tura Satana, Manhole,
oh my god,
Voice Project, Fluffy, all that shit.
We listened to like, a lot of that stuff. Oh my god, those like bands. I still have like all those CDs. Like even like if we listened to like amazing like Terry B stuff, like we like went down the rabbit hole. Like I mean, I know kids like that are our age now, like that we were then, like 16, 15, like around like, they go down the rabbit holes with bands too. But I remember going down the rabbit hole of like loving Tourist Satana and then liking My Ruin and thinking Terry B was really cool, and then finding Manhole like Los Angeles, and then being like, oh, she did a rap album in which she had blonde hair, and she was like a boss bitch too. She's like a boss ass bitch.
She was a huge inspiration, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, Terry B was a huge, for me too. I think for both of us, big time.
Yeah, and I feel like
I love her.
She never really got the and it really bums me out, because I mean, like, she was a groundbreaking artist when she was a rap artist, but she was also a groundbreaking artist in the like metal / new metal genre, because she came up with all those like original in the early to mid 90s, all those like original bands that like started that whole genre, but she never got the widespread accolades or recognition that I think she always deserved. Like that woman deserves to be like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or like deserves to be worshipped and cited a lot more than I think that she is. And to be honest with you, like whenever people ask me about like some of my like female influences, I always mention her because I think it's important. You know, she was somebody that walked that path well before any of us did. And
she was a trailblazer way before we were there.
Yeah, like way. And a little bit of the rap too, because like when she started Manhole, like it was like the rap metal thing. And it was just like
rapcore was like not a thing, especially with the girl singer. Whoa.
Yeah. And she was fucking pissed. And she was singing about issues like women's issues, which is something again that is like so important and so like just not like appreciated, I think. You know, she was talking about shit that nobody wanted to talk about at a time when nobody was listening. You know what I mean?
Well, and when all those shootings were happening in LA and stuff, like she was saying like, blood stains the halls and, the streets of Los Angeles. She was talking about like gang life and shooting people at the age of 10. I'm like, I fucking still listen to the CDs. I'm not going to fucking lie. Like,
of course, they're amazing.
She was talking about like gang life and how like kids were growing up. She was talking about shit that people were turning a blind eye to. She was talking about racism, and she's like a white woman with all these guys in this band, and like people just didn't want to hear it. They just did not want to hear it. It's like an issue. I'm just going to close the blinds on this and be like, okay.
Well, it does seem like that's something that always tends to happen, and like when it's someone like her that like is so it like blazes that trail so early on, it's like, it always ends up that like, you know, the others that come after her are the ones that might get more of that recognition. But like I said, I always try to put her name out there and cite her. It's like, her just being in that genre, and her, because like they did get a lot more notoriety and popularity in the UK. And like when we first started going over there, like they were, you know, a much bigger deal than they ever were in the States. But yeah, oh yeah, no, they were getting,
I believe
they were doing a lot of Kerrang covers and Metal Hammer and shit like that. Like it was a much bigger deal over there. But
I bet you like Germany was like nuts for them.
Yeah, the UK, I think more than anywhere else, but I think for them everywhere, it always seemed like that was something. And yeah, like I always think it's important, because like a lot of people were like, oh, like about Kittie, like, oh, I've never heard a woman do this before. And it's like, you know,
we have.
Well, yeah, exactly. You just gotta dig a little bit, but I also appreciate what people feel, how people feel about us. If we were their first taste of the idea of, you know, that women can do anything, that equality in music is an important thing, and that, you know, whatever, like I'm all for it. But I always
think it's super cool
the women before us too.
Oh yeah, the women that came before us did many things before us, because we couldn't do anything. I'm talking like way before us, not even like a metal sort of way. Like people like Stevie Nicks, people like Janis Joplin. I mean, people like Janis Joplin. You think about Janis Joplin, she is the most, like, she is not an attractive female. She's gotten, like, when she opens her fucking mouth, the world turns into a goddamn rainbow.
Yeah, she was fucking incredible.
Like, she showed that a powerful voice and like a powerful energy. You didn't have to rely on looks. That kind of beauty standard bullshit is gone.
Sexy. You know what I mean? That
is sexy. That's sexy as fuck. And I think that's what has come with like age and maturity and experience. And what you think is sexy at 16 years old is a lot different than what you think is, you know, sexy now.
Yeah. And like when you're 16 and you think about people that might be like close to 40, you're like, oh, that's so old. That's so gross. And it's like, bitch, I'll be 40.
My life has just begun, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, it getting older is a really interesting thing. And for somebody who like had so much stuff about age, like focused on, like it's interesting to be old now.
Isn't it? Well,
and it's funny because like, I feel better about myself than I ever have in my entire life. And I'm sure that you feel the same way. Like when we were teenagers, you know, we were like all like sad and like a lot of body issues, you know.
Like anger issues. I had anger issues for 100%.
Yeah, of course. And like eventually, once you kind of wade through what life gives you, you kind of come out on the other side and you're like, wow, like, you know, did I really have so much to worry about? You know, did I?
No.
But like you come to a point where there's a lot of more acceptance with like how you look, how you feel. And like if you put work into it, it will yield some amazing results. You know, like there's lots of times in my life where I look at pictures and I was like, ooh, that was a bad year. Ugh.
Oh, me too. I'm like, I think I'm in the middle of a bad day. I think I'm in the middle of a bad month. That was like 4 years where I was bad.
Yeah. And it's like you look and you're just like, I know I was drinking a lot and eating a lot of crap and like not caring and like I feel like it's changed now. I've appreciated my body and all of that. And
well, you have to kind of
the mind and the body.
If you want to kind of live a little bit longer, you have to just take a little bit more care. Like, and the thing is, and everyone says, oh, getting old. And I was talking to somebody about this like before, and I had heard someone talking about it on another podcast. I think it was one of the girls in L7. And she was talking about how like getting old is actually the goal. Yeah, like, while you're watching all your friends die of drug overdoses and car accidents on tour and fucking like getting the flesh-eating disease, like fucking horrible shit. Like getting old is the goal. It's not bad. And when we were 16, we literally thought it was like the worst and scariest thing ever. We're just like, oh, fuck, I don't want that to happen to me. That can't happen. I don't want to turn to my parents or whoever.
Yeah, you know, but then you realize that like you're still the same person that you were back then. You just you know, like, and that nobody really knows what they're doing in life. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, no.
When you're a kid and you think that your parents have all the answers and that they know what they're doing, all that stuff. And then you become the age that your parents were when you, and then you're like, but I still don't know anything. I'm still not.
I totally realized that.
Yeah.
I know nothing. Even like you call your parents when you're a kid, like this, when you say like, oh, mom or dad, or like whoever raised you, your grandparents, whoever ended up raising you, call your aunt or uncle, you call a grown-up for like advice. You're like, I really need your help. I'm having this problem. I remember I used to like do it like with my dad and the kids, or my mom and the kids, like when they were like, especially like if like, especially my eldest, when he was like the youngest and I was like the most inexperienced parent. But then the moment that dawned on me that I'm just like, oh my God, my parents are just humans that were just winging it the way I am. And like every other fucking parent and human is in the fucking world. That's a huge epiphany.
Yeah.
It's weird to find out your parents are like humans.
Yeah. Weird, no, because back when you're that young, you don't think that they are. You think, you know, they're superheroes, or they're, you know, they're just something,
there's something
otherworldly.
Like,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you realize like, holy shit, they had no clue, just like I have no clue.
Exactly. We're the same.
Exactly.
Like,
and
you go along the best you can. You just learn as you go.
It does, for me, I feel like it's made me appreciate my parents more.
I agree.
And like, you
totally agree.
Yeah, you realize they're just fucking doing the best that they could, and that's all that you can be doing too. So
yeah, and that's all everybody can do, is literally just chugging along and doing the best you can. Life kind of like throws whatever it can at you, but I really think, for me at least, life started after like 35, because I like calmed my tits a little bit. I like cooled the fuck down. Doctor's like, take some Ambien, go to sleep, fucking stop being a spaz, you know, meditating more, like different things, you know what I mean? I don't drink, you know, I don't drink anymore. Like I haven't for ages. I just can't because of like my tummy. But like the amount I used to drink was like insane before I had kids. I drink every weekend, and like sometimes on like weeknights too. So it's like I don't have time for that anymore. I got time for drinking like cola in the movie theater. Remember that time?
You're like, speaking of cola in the movie theater.
Oh fuck. We went to go see, it was the Westmount Mall. When they had Westmount Twin, they changed the building. Remember by Westmount? Like my doctor was in there. There's like a TD Bank. It was on the corner by Westmount Mall. And Fallon's sister like worked underneath in the restaurant at the West End. There used to be, and then underneath there was the Westmount Twin, but then they closed it down. They're like, we're getting rid of this 2-movie theater. We're going to give you a 6.
And then they moved it to the mall. In just outside of the food court.
Yes, like right there. And it was like the Westmount 6. And it was like the big shit. And like we'd like walk to a movie. Like we'd always go to the movies. We'd like go to my mom's house. Cause like I think my parents were probably, my parents were definitely divorced by this point.
Oh yeah, no. Like your dad was, as long as I had known you, your dad was not in the picture. Like, I mean, he was in the picture, but he wasn't at your mom's place. Yeah.
No, they didn't live together. Exactly. Yeah. He wasn't in the picture as in they weren't married. He was always in the picture. But like, fuck. But I remember like so many times like walking across that field going to go to the movies. But you and I had gone to see Austin Powers.
Oh, you remember what movie it was? That's so funny that it was Austin Powers.
Well, because
like the first one, right?
Yes. And I thought, like, I don't know if she's gonna think this is like so funny. I'm like, let's just go see this. But I remember us like fucking pissing ourselves. Like we were laughing so hard. We were like fucking crying. And we had gone to Bootlegger or something probably before
it was Bootlegger.
Yeah. Probably gonna go to the black and white photo booth and pay a loony to get our stupid fucking pictures.
Yeah, which you probably still have.
I probably have a strip of them. You know, like Fallon's amazing for that. She like boxes of like strips of pictures from Bootlegger. I'm like,
I love that.
You're crazy. So I love that, like the archival people, because I respect them, because I'm just like, I'm not good at that. I wish I was better at that.
I have like boxes of like a lot of Kittie shit, but and like some of like older stuff is in there, but like I have a lot of
you have, like totes and stuff.
Yeah, like I have the bins of pictures, which of course like you probably saw and Rob got to go through as well for like the documentary. We just gave them all the bins, but you'd have to go to like A&P to get them developed, because we were using real film.
Oh yeah, like
they had the
film.
like the photo developing place there at AMP.
They had the photo lab, yeah, and they would just, you give them the roll of film, and they just
and then you get a
they
little
develop them in 1
and
hour. Yeah,
see them all while you're shopping for your groceries.
Oh fuck yeah! I worked at Walmart in college, like at the portrait studio beside a fucking photo place. I remember photos when they weren't on your phone.
Right.
We went to Bootlegger, and I know they still sell Jones Soda like everywhere. And we went to Bootlegger and we got a Jones Soda, and I don't think you got one because you've never really been into like drinking sugar. Water.
No, I don't really.
You've never been a big pop drinker.
I remember that it was the clear one.
It was like a cream soda.
It was the white label. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a white cream soda. I'm like, let's just get this because I'm like, I don't need all that artificial dye. I want to get the blue one, but then my teeth will be blue and I'll look funny, and no boys will like me. No boy likes trendy. So I'm just like drinking this soda, and we're sitting in the theater, like literally minding our beeswax, watching Austin Powers, laughing our ass off. Also,
being teenagers,
being exactly who we are. Click, flashlight goes on. Tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it's Usher. Is it the singer Usher? I wish.
No.
Fuck no, it's not Usher. It's the fucking movie Usher.
Yeah.
Ushering our asses out of the movie theater.
The movie theater police.
We got busted and put in the hallway. And he fucking looked at the two of us because obviously, like, he wouldn't just come for no reason. I guess the people who were either sitting behind us or in front of us.
Right. Somebody
bitched that we were getting drunk.
They thought that we were sharing a beer, and we got in trouble for that. And it's like, it's fucking Jones Soda, you idiots!
A clear beer that smells like cream soda. We're totally just passing around, getting all.
But I mean, I guess because it's in the like bottle that looks like a beer bottle, it's like,
kind of. But it wasn't even like a brown bottle. Like most beer comes in brown bottles or green bottles. Yeah. I don't see much,
except for Zima, but that's not really beer.
That's just magic.
We could go there. Zima.
We will go there. Oh God, Zima. The amount of booze I've had to hide in my life. Oh yeah. So this fucking like dude pulls. It is, and they still sell something that's like it in America apparently, but they don't sell actual Zima. I've heard.
Zima came back. It did. It came back a few years ago. Yeah, they brought it back from
in America since I drank. Since I drank.
Well, you
like
could
all
you know
the
what?
like most America pictures of me are like drinking.
Yeah, if I could get my hands on some again, I'll you'll have to have at least one sip.
Oh, I don't know what to do to my belly.
I tasted the 90s in the RV.
Oh my God. The taste of like sour grape stomping.
Yeah.
Fucking so Buddy pulls you and I into the hallway. We clarify with this asshole that this is not a beer. It is clearly a cream soda. And he's like, pour it in the garbage.
I remember and just like, into the big garbage bin. Yeah.
I was like, this one's for my homies. Fuck you, Buddy. But then we went back and then watched the rest of the movie and like literally undisturbed. I'm like, really? You can't even sneak in a pop to the movies these days? What the hell is the world coming to?
I know.
Fuck this. I'm going to Taco Bell after this. I'm going to go get some gordita. Fuck you. You'll
burrito.
Taco Bell. Oh my God. You loved bean burritos.
I still do. They're delicious.
Do you?
Taco Bell doesn't. I haven't literally had Taco Bell probably in 20 years. But you don't. I
haven't had Taco Bell since I was pregnant.
Like you don't even need teeth. It just like you can just suck it off with your lips. It's so soft.
Denture bean burritos. So when all your teeth and listen to this, kids. When all your teeth inevitably fall out. Welcome to Twin Peaks season 3. Oh fuck. Oh my God. Happy fucking makeover. A teeth makeover. You can just suck the burrito down your mouth. You heard it here. You can suck it back.
Things to look forward to, friends. You don't need teeth for that.
Gumming bean burritos.
You know what? I kind of want one now just to like see if it still works.
I would have like a shitty like microwaved one. Oh fuck.
Like a microwave burrito?
What's up, fucking Instacart? Like a microwave bean burrito? I totally do it. Or just like get some fucking soft tortillas, mash up a can of beans.
Oh, make them yourself. Yeah.
Oh my God. If you make your own beans, they're so good. And put like Goya seasoning in, like with the orange. Oh my God, it's so good in the beans. Oh, I make my own beans because the kids don't want like refried beans out of a can.
I'm not a big fan of that either. Like, I mean, I'll buy a can of beans and then do stuff.
Yeah, actual beans, and put like I put mine in what I call the handy blender, and I don't want to do the motion right now because it looks
you probably should.
That's how I get these big muscles right here.
Yeah.
It's from blending beans
sure it
together.
Is.
No, sure it is. I get it from clipping beards off of mummies. Like Nephron Ka.
Oh,
could you care to explain this term to any of our friends that don't know anything about Egyptology?
Well, okay, so Nephron Ka, wasn't that like a Nile thing, right? Is that not? Yeah. What was the song name?
Oh,
was it the
God.
song?
Maybe the song was named Nephron Ka.
It was Amongst the Catacombs of Nephron Ka. That wasn't that like the album title of their first album?
I was like,
something like that.
It was the album.
Yeah, it was the whole fucking album. Anyways, apparently we really liked Nile in the 90s. That's so crazy.
You had a hoodie. You had a fucking hoodie.
Yeah.
You like
know what? So there's a lot of that stuff that I regret not having anymore. Like I had Today Is the Day, Temple of the Morning Star, long sleeve.
Yes, with all the sperm swimming towards it.
Sperm and to like the pentacle, and I am so sad that I don't have that. I am eternally sad that I don't have it anymore. I had a bunch of Today Is the Day shirts too. I had a Supernova shirt, like an OG Supernova shirt, which is like a pretty big deal, I think now, but like
it's huge.
Somebody would buy that shit for idiots would buy that shit for hundreds of dollars, but I wish that I still had it.
Curated vintage 90s fucking goth
it's
fucking
crazy.
Things they're like the money that people are charging for like shit that I used to wear that they probably found at Value Village,
especially on Etsy.
Insane.
Like you'll get like like an 80s Motley Crue shirt for $800 US. Like no thanks, that's crazy.
Holy, like was this worn by Tommy Lee himself?
Right? Kittie shirts,
Tommy Lee sweat on it?
Yeah, even the OG Kittie shirts now. Like I actually recently Jen sent me a link maybe in the last like few months that was like this came up on Etsy, and it was like probably $150 to $200 for like an OG
for an original
Oracle
Kittie shirt.
Yeah, it was an Oracle shirt, so not the Spit era, but it was like I think it was the one that had Talina and Mercedes and I like with the hoods on, like that
one on the we're like on the cover.
Yeah that was like a couple
American
$100. I think so.
That's amazing. I'll have to look. It's amazing to see what like
people. It's crazy.
Like people love like curated vintage clothing. That is like a huge thing. I see it. I see it on Instagram a ton. I see it on like TikTok. Like TikTok is something that is like was so out there for me. But one day, someone said, get a TikTok. And I was like, I'm not getting a fucking TikTok. I'm not like, I am too old for TikTok. Like I felt like there should be like a hashtag and I should be roasting myself because it's funny. And then I did start watching a few TikTok videos, and then a few of my friends had TikToks, and I started watching their TikToks, and they were doing things that they just felt like doing. And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of weird. Maybe I'll get a TikTok. And so I got one. And then like I was doing funny videos and making the kids laugh, right? Like doing funny things like turning into an alien, just being like my dank ass self, because I need another fucking social media platform where
you need something else to talk.
There's never enough outlet for the mouth. It just never.
Well, that's why I'm so glad that you are doing this podcast, because this is something that you literally should have been doing like for your entire life. Like you have.
But we didn't have this kind of technology.
I know that's true, and now we have the tech to do it. And like I can remember like my fucking mom being like, where does she get that mouth from? Like back in the 90s, like, you know, like we're like playing with the Continental. I think you said some crazy shit to John Finberg, and like she was like, where does that mouth come from? Like it's just like unbelievable.
Oh my God, he took your dad like outside and was like, I have to talk to you. He's like, the bass player, she's got a mouth on her. And your dad's
but like, isn't that something hilarious coming from him? Considering like he has recently been like in the news for like being a like sexual assault and also a predator. Yeah, just a predator in general.
I'm like, so
every woman that's worked with him has a story. Every woman that's worked with him has a story, and like
every single one. Every single one. So I'm sitting here with my dirty mouth at 16 years old. He's probably got his dick straight up at fucking midnight. Fuck you, buddy.
Gross. That's
just
disgusting.
saying, there is fucking nothing to hold. But playing that show at the Continental was fun. I remember that night.
That was a wild show. Actually, you know what? Like when I think back to it, it was like what a strange time. Like that was the summer tour that we did for 2 weeks. We were out on tour with Skin Lab and Pissing Razors.
Yeah.
Yep. And
don't mess with Texas, bitch.
Right? We did those shows and we played at the Continental. And I remember that was like when the hype for Kittie started to like take off, and we were opening for, I think we were on first, weren't we? Yeah,
we were we were opening. Like
and so the Continental was never. Yeah, the Continental was never a big place. It was literally like somebody's closet, but the entire place was filled with industry people. And then as soon as we were done, like 80% of the people left, and that was like
it was crazy. Like the room emptied out.
Yeah, like the buzz like preceded us, and people showed up, and that was when Rolling Stone came to like take some photos. That one photo of us from when Mercedes has one of the guys from Skin Lab in a headlock, and we're like,
she's got like snake. She's got Snake in a headlock.
Yeah,
and like and Paul's sitting there, who's like my boy crush.
Yeah, Paul. Did you know that I haven't seen him in a long time, but like Paul came to one of the shows that we did with Insane Clown Posse in like 2000, like 2000 and like was it 11, 2010?
Wow.
He showed up with some other people, and we were like, this is fucking just
that's
incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Toured together like forever.
I know. God. Even then,
they were nice to us though. Like, they were like anyone we toured with. Like that's the one thing I can say. Like we were treated really respectfully by men that we played with. I would say,
I
mean, more like promoters that were like dinks and stuff like that, or like club owners that were like dinks, or producers that were like dinks or whatever. Like, but men that we played with generally were really fucking cool to us.
Yeah,
like, really
and,
fucking cool.
Very like big brotherly.
I think they all treated us like little sisters. I was like, they're pretty protective.
Yeah, like it was never creepy. Like, I don't ever remember being so creeped out. Like there was some people were weird or whatever, but like, you know, we never really
there's weirdos everywhere. They'd like come to shows and say something weird. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here now.
Yeah, it's more like, the audience and some of the fan stuff. That's the creepy stuff.
Some fan stuff can get like out there. There have been people that I like dead. Like I'm just like block goodbye.
Oh yeah, like I've had to call the FBI in my life a few times, and that's never
a few times. I know of like one specific time, but I don't know about a few times. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, actually, it might have just been that one time, but
there was a lot of
about the same person. There was like one that was like some death threats at a show, but like recently too, like with all the documentary stuff, I had some scary stuff going on too.
What? And was it the same person again?
No, it was a different person. But...
Oh, for crying out, Pete! I'm sorry that's happening. People are crazy. Okay. I had some craziness go on too.
Yeah,
you've been privy to all the fucking craziness shit that I get too. It's just it is what it is, and like you can do what you want with it. Like death threats and shit like that. That's serious. That's scary shit.
Yeah, well,
people
like that's
not better to do with their lives.
Yeah, that's not something that's like a new thing with Kittie for some reason though. No. Like if you remember early on, like, you know, playing shows at the embassy, and that one girl who was dating one of those dudes in band that we kind of were like locally like associated with, like
affiliated with kind of.
Yeah.
We played shows together sometimes on the same like roster.
Yeah, like making up like fake Hotmail accounts and like sending our Angel Fire website like fucking like death threats about Kittie. Like that was something that literally
vile shit.
Yep.
Like saying, vile, like, immature shit.
Don't jump in the crowd, like, or like try to mosh because I'll have a knife and I'll stab you. Like this is literally before we got signed. This was like just while we were playing like Call the Office in the embassy in London.
Like we're a fucking basement band. I don't want to say we're a garage band.
Yeah,
because we played in the fucking basement.
Yeah, I don't know what it was all about, but somebody clearly didn't like us.
I think she was jealous because like we were girls in bands, and she was just like kind of tagging along with her boyfriend's band. It was probably honestly some dumb, stupid teenage girl like inferiority complex thing. and she just took out all her anger on the internet and just fucking trolled it up. And I remember your dad like was just like, fuck this shit. I'm going to find out who the fuck this is. And he did not stop. He was like a train. He was like a fucking bullet train. He had eye on the prize. He's like, you're not going to fucking mess with my girls. Because like talking about like brother bears and stuff like that, your parents, some of the shit they did to like protect us on tour, like Mama Papa Bear style.
Yeah, I know. Woo! Well, hey, they had to. Like, what a fucking scary and fucked up world. Especially for like young girls having a tour and, you know,
and them having to be responsible for us.
All of this responsibility as well, like as performers and whatnot, like they wanted to make sure that we were, you know, getting, we weren't being overworked and overexposed.
They wanted to make sure we were getting like 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. We wanted to make sure we were taking our multivitamins, making sure like I remember like being on our periods and your dad going to like the store to get us like tampons and Midol for our menstrual cramps. Like
he was always good about that.
He's a, you know what, regular dudes are good about that. If you're a dude who can't go buy fucking tampons for your wife or your girlfriend or anyone that you know who bleeds, you need to fucking check yourself.
Then you have no business putting your penis anywhere near them.
Fuck that. Keep your dick between your legs, asshole.
Right?
Fuck off. Fuck right off. Man. I have so many fucking but Kittie is something that has been like a family for us. But Kittie also is something that like no matter what we do and no matter where we go, you look over your shoulder, and there it is. There's Kittie. It's always gonna be there. And like for the longest time, like I fought it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like, I'm not with that band anymore. I was doing other bands like right after, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be attached to me forever. Like, fuck, I'm never going to be able to get a job because everyone's going to just think I'm this crazy metal fucking crazy bitch. Like, even registering your kid for school. Like when my eldest went to kindergarten, his teacher ended up being someone that we went to Saunders with, who was younger than us, was like my sister's age. But so of course, like automatically she thought like, oh God, his mom's like super crazy rock and roller. He's going to be like, he's going to be bad. And you know how my son is. Like, he's like probably
he's the most delightful little guy ever.
Yeah. He's the calmest kid in the world. He like meditates. He's chill, you know?
Yeah. But you know what? That's just like something that we, you know, you just kind of have to, I guess, again, with the whole like growing age thing, like it's just something that you eventually kind of come to terms with and realize it's not like such a bad thing. And it is
put my feet into it like it's a pair of comfy slippers, you know.
And like I can understand why for you would have wanted to distance yourself like early on, because like
at the time
were really awkward between us for like a long time, right? Like
totally.
You know, like I can remember, you know, the revelation that you wanted to leave the band, and we were at the NG Artemis
we were like at a meeting
office. We were sitting down with Paul Gargano, who was the editor of Metal Edge magazine. And he was hired to do our bio, and so he wanted to just sit and talk with us for the interview so that he could get a sense of our vibe and then write our official biography as someone you know, with a journalistic capacity or whatever. And like I remember,
you got the vibe all right.
You pulled me into the bathroom and you told me that you were going to leave the band and you didn't want to do this. It was all too much for you. And like, we were just like bawling our eyes out in the bathroom.
My God.
And then we had to like go back in and like pretend like nothing happened. And it was just like, this was, you know, when you're that young and, you know, your best friend is telling you that you're leaving, like it, like I can remember being really hurt about it, you know, because it's like
when
you're friends like that,
my friend, like, why are you doing this to me?
It's more like about the friendship rather than like, you know, the band stuff. And I think that's all.
You don't understand it in the 30s.
Yeah, people don't realize that too. It's like, we were all like friends before the band thing. And then the band thing kind of took on like a life of its own, and you just kind of had to roll with whatever happened. And it was the same thing with like Fallon as well. Like when she left the band, I also was like really hurt because I was like, well, I thought we were friends, you know, like I don't understand. Then when you're like 17 years old and you're still a teenager, it's not something that like I understand. You don't
deal with it well as a kid.
I understand now that it's there was a lot of responsibility, a lot of things that like we were expected to do and put up with and be okay with. and survive through as like children still, like as our minds are developing. And so now my adult brain looks back and I'm like, well, I completely understand why all these things happened and why perhaps for some people it needed to happen and whatnot. But like when you're in that moment, it's just like, man, like I'm devastated. Like my friends don't want to be my fucking friends anymore. And that's
like, why don't you want to be my friend anymore? This is not okay. Like, and like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. This is not nice.
Yeah. And for you, like I remember we d't talk for like a number of years after.
It was years. Like it was years that we didn't talk.
Yeah. But
it was years.
You know,
and then I think I called you up after like my mom's mom passed away, and like just like I hadn't talked to you in years, and then just like lost it, and I was just like, dude, we gotta talk. Like life's too short. Like what the fuck?
Totally. And
then we started like hanging out again.
Yeah, and those were like the I guess that was like mid 2000s, because like I can remember the first time seeing Fallon in like since she had left the band was that night that we took the photo at Call the Office.
The
four of us together, and it was literally like the first photo that we had taken together and had all been together since Fallon left the band. You and I had already been hanging out at that point, but she was in town. I think she might have been in school, living in Toronto or something. She wasn't. I'm trying to think. I think it might have been 2005. 2005, maybe?
Yeah, probably around then.
I still had black hair.
Yes, you had very long black hair and it was like in a bob and like long, no bob.
It might have, maybe it might have been 2004, but it was, I think
Mercedes had bangs.
Yeah.
I had blonde hair and like thin rimmed glasses, and Fallon had like
cat eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, cat eyes, like almost
kind of hair thing going on.
Yeah, she did something really nice with her hair.
Yeah, I don't remember what show it was or why we were all together, but it was like that was a big moment, right? Like putting the past behind us and like being like, you know what, it doesn't really fucking matter. But like the whole point of all of this is that it, you know, sometimes you have to distance yourself from those situations and grow up a little bit and think about things in a different way in order to understand what really matters the most in life. It's true. Right?
I think once you kind of like sit with your feelings for like a little while, and then you kind of see them for what they really are and kind of really step back.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, it's like really not that big of a deal. Like things I used to freak out about, I don't anymore. But like a Kittie, I can't, you girls are with me at all times.
You can't escape it. You can't.
Oh, you want to know how fucking hard I can't escape it? Let me tell you about the time I lost my virginity to Rob McCallum. I cannot fucking escape Kittie at all.
Oh,
so you guys, you motherfuckers, hire this guy to do this documentary on us.
And you end up
my marriage is in the toilet. My marriage is in the toilet before I got married, and you know you're all bridesmaids.
Oh, I remember.
So once my marriage was over, Rob and I, of course, started dating. And this was after the documentary was filmed, like way after like 2 years.
Yeah.
I think after we started seeing each other or whatever. Because I sent him like some like naughty message on the internet that was like, oh, I like your hair. I think you're gonna give me some gingivitis because I like my redheaded boys.
That's a good one. Gingivitis.
So I was like, I think we should get to know each other better. I'm like, what the fuck do I say? I don't know how to date. I'm like 34 years old. What the fuck? What do I do? So he like had come up because he'd been in Canada a lot and he'd been filming different films and stuff like that. Missing Mom. He'd been doing different stuff with Kittie and whatever. And he was staying at like a hotel. And I was like, it's going to happen. So I was like, let's go to Walmart. And he's like, why do you want to go to Walmart? I'm like, I think we just should go shopping. I think we should just go shopping at Walmart. He's like, okay. So I went and I like dragged his ass into the condom section. He was like,
oh my God.
Oh, you're that kind of
girl, Tanya, you're so forward.
I'm absolutely for it. I was like, you're going to get laid. And so he was just like, okay, at this point, I had not had sex since my son had been conceived. And only that magical 30 seconds of friction there. Like I was a celibate nun.
Yeah.
That happened. I just happened to get pregnant by I don't even know how it happened. So some people think that I may have fathered him myself, but I still think that my dick is enormous. So we go to Walmart and then I think I'm so cool because we buy these condoms and I buy like a bunch of different kinds. I'm like, whatever. The kid who's ringing us in is fucking so embarrassed. And like,
just like
Rob's
piles
fucking
of
embarrassed.
On the...
Oh yeah, like, and you worked with Rob, and Mercedes worked with Rob, and you met him obviously before you did the documentary. And he's very like, he's not forward at all. Like, he's very like shy, and he's not like that. He's not like how I am.
Well, yeah, Tanya, you are one of a kind.
Something like that.
Very special.
I'm an antique.
Yes.
But he's a bit more reserved than someone like myself is. So we go to this hotel and like we eat dinner at like Kelsey's, and I'm like, they're like, oh, what do you want? Rob orders whatever, chicken fingers. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have chicken fingers. I'm like, make mine the naked chicken fingers with nothing on them. Like, I'm gonna try to be all sexy about it.
Oh, how sexy.
Let's chicken get fingers. Sexier. And Rob's like, all I could think of was naked chicken fingers. Like, they have no breading on them. That's like boring. When are you gonna dip them in? I'm like, I guess it wasn't sexy at all. Yeah. So whatever, we get up to the hotel room. And we're like, it's like a suite. So there's like a room with like a bed in it and like with a fireplace and a TV, and then the bedroom, and then there's like the sitting room where there's like a chair and a couch and whatever. So he's sitting over on the couch, like, warming up a spot for me to sit beside him. I'm just like sitting on the chair like a nervous asshole for some reason. And he just like talking to me, and he just says to me, do you want to see like the fan cut of like the Kittie documentary? It's like 3.5 hours. I'm like, and I just like taken a pack of like THC gummy bears, which were like, and I'm talking like I took the whole pack. Like, I didn't take one, I took like 10. I was nervous. Okay. And
I remember your gummy bear phase. I remember.
Oh my God. Going to the market on Saturday mornings, just fucking bagging it up with gummy bears. Fuck's sakes. Like, oh, when I was childless, taking these gummy bears, he's like, do you want to see the Kittie, the fan cut? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's long though. It's 3.5 hours. I'm like, yeah. You know what? I was sad at the time. I was missing people. I'm like, I think this will help. I want to watch the Kittie fan cut. And then I proceed to say to him, which I still can't fucking believe that came out of my mouth. Well, why don't we go? Because there's only the TV in the bedroom. He's like, well, why don't we go to the bedroom and watch the movie? I'm like, oh, I think I know where
this is going. Did you guys fuck to the fucking fan cut? Oh my God. Tanya,
your fucking asses are in the background screaming while I'm banging my brains out, because I said to him, I'm like, well, I only like to watch movies like in my underwear, like where I always take off my pants, like if I watch movies, if I'm lying in bed.
My pants just come off.
I'm like, it's not nice. So your pants have been like outside all day and they've been against like the elements. Do you want to put those in nice clean sheets? I'm just gonna remove my pants. And he was just like, okay. I'm like, you should probably take yours off too. They look filthy. So yeah, we totally banged to the Kittie,
to the fan cut. Oh my God!
Cut.
I knew where this was going. That's like, how was that? Was that weird?
It was, but it was weird, but it was also like, it just felt like
very comforting,
like appropriate, like.
Holy shit.
Kind of like just like nice to have you guys like cheering me on in the background. Like, I felt like I had like a team of like bitches, like go girl, put
all your best pals in life.
I know, just all there at the same time, just cheering me on. Like, Jesus, grind that pole, Christ. Bitch. And I did. That's why these podcasts are 18 plus.
Is an incredible story, and I'm so glad that we were there to encourage that moment.
Yeah, you guys did.
It was meant to be, really.
I think it was. It was meant to be. It was like
a weird, isn't it? Just like, what a weird little family that we have, Like, it is. It's once you're in, it's like you're just part of it. And
you're in
sometimes
for one
you just
wild
can't escape.
Ride.
Yeah, you just,
but it's
just
not
all
a bad
how you
thing.
Yeah, it's nothing bad about it. It's just in how you choose to look at it. And like I get it too. Like, for a long time, I also was kind of like, well, especially with the like early stuff, like kind of very much try to distance myself from like the whole like, new metal and like what we wore, like all the Jinkos and all that shit, we kind of went through that phase or whatever. But like, being a bit older now, I have come to like appreciate what it means and what it meant and what it still does mean to people, and like being a part of the band and you know, having done what we accomplished together, like, I think it's something that I embrace now, you know.
Absolutely.
And
I embrace it too now. It's humbling now. It's very humbling. Like when I see kids that were our age at the time, like where we made Spit, for instance, on their TikToks, and they're spending so much time. They're not on doing drugs. They're not smoking cigarettes. They're not vaping. They're not fucking around or doing anything. They're spending like hours and hours on their TikTok videos, like learning Kittie songs or doing something to like a Kittie song, and like they're impressive. And I know you don't have TikTok and you've not seen these, and like
no, but I see some of the stuff on Instagram, and like I'm so blown away by the amount of people that are like weren't even born when Spit came out, that are so like enamored by the music that and it continues to grow, you know. Like I'm blown away by like the streaming numbers, people listening to all of the Kittie albums, but especially Spit. That's probably, you know, it's going to be our most popular album, but I'm just so blown away that people are still discovering and still listening, and it's been so long, and it's still making an impact. And like that's a weird mind fuck, isn't it? Like
it is. It's strange to know that it's like, are we like classic metal now?
Yeah, also, I don't know. I guess because like everything is cyclical classic like that, where like like where things like that I guess are considered to be retro. Like right now, like there is a big movement with new metal coming back, and it's sort of been reinvented by young, and like a lot of new bands that are coming out are considered new metal, and it's not a bad word. Where, you know, when we started to get away from that, the late 90s and early 2000s, like it, because new metal became like this thing where it became a parody of itself, where
it did.
You know, a lot of bands like were being signed that just like they looked silly, and like the music was not groundbreaking. It just became like this like 10th generation band where, you know, a lot of people,
so maybe they had a DJ, so some labels picked them up. They're like, oh, rapcore.
Yeah, it just seemed at the end of it just seemed like people were trying to cash in so much that it became like a parody of itself. But like, and that's when it became a bad word. And when, you know, with Kittie, when we musically started to, you know, evolve as a band and kind of get away from that particular sound. It wasn't like we did it on purpose, but it was just like,
no,
you know, that was something that
just naturally
its course.
I gravitate away from it naturally. It was just an organic thing.
Yeah, an evolution. But then, you know, and coming back around and sort of being away from it for a while, and then having to sort of look back through our entire lives with the documentary. It's like you look at it now and you're like, wow, I can really appreciate, and I'm honored to be a part of it, you know. And I would hope that most people that were in the band would feel that way, you know. Like every person, regardless of how long or short they were in the band, it's like important. It was an important part of the evolution, and an important part of building, you know, this like, you know, legacy that surrounds us all, that like it just won't go away, and it just keeps going. It's not a bad thing that it won't go away. It just keeps going and growing, and we're adding kids to the mix, and it doesn't have to define you, you know. Like I personally don't think that, like, there was a time in my life that like I think being in Kittie defined who I was, but I don't I don't think that's who I am now. And that's just like, you know, like I am more, I know that, you know, in growing up and growing, you know, into the person that I am today, I'm more than that. But absolutely, I'm glad that it's a part. It's that the part that will never go away, and that's something that you it's a experience, and that everybody does. So, and I love that part that will never go away, because it's I think it's part of like, it's just part of like the core personality of kind of like who you are, and I think it's a great thing. Yeah. So like, other than Kittie, because of like legacy, what do you? Because, I mean, we're preserving Kittie's legacy, but we're always doing something with Kittie. The documentary is out, obviously, for anyone who hasn't seen it. Live I know in there London are some. Too. Oh, I know, the live concert's out too. My mom actually hadn't seen it, and so I like sent it like to her TV, and I was like, "Mom, watch this!" I'm like, "It's so exciting." She's like, "Oh, you're so pregnant!" I'm like, I know, it's so wild. Your girls look so good. You haven't aged a day. I'm like, thanks, Mom. It's incredible. And then I was like, why didn't you come to the show that night? Of course. It's just, it's probably too loud. I'm like, oh, no big deal. We're only like, no big deal. We're just getting together after like 20 years of not being on stage together. It's so funny.
Good thing fucking Rob McCallum someone decided to fucking film the goddamn thing.
Yeah, honestly, that ended up being like a really important night. Like, I don't know.
It was a
For
wonderful
me,
night.
I'm glad that I'm glad that everybody agreed and thought, because it was just supposed to be kind of like just an after party, and then it turned into this like a fucking event, right? Everybody
it turned into like a thing. I was like,
so that played, and it was like an anniversary show, and like, you know, the fact that you guys, you know, you and Fallon and Mercedes and I got to stand on stage together since like almost 20 years, like the last time, and it just like, it was, I don't know, for me it was really important because, like, you know, talking about all this stuff about you know, like all the turmoil of like being young and like, you know, having your friends leave the band and whatever, it was nice to be able to kind of come back to it and then be like, you know, like, we're grown-ups now, and like whatever happened in the past did, and, you know, I don't harbor any resentment against anybody that has been in the band, you know, whether they were a part of the documentary or the shows or not. Like, it doesn't,
who cares?
I don't, it's you know, I've come to terms with, you know, a lot of the things that have happened, and maybe, you know, my part that I played in all this, and would hope that, you know, there on everybody's part that there has been reflection, but I don't, you know, I'm cool.
You can't make anybody like reflect. Oh, I sure look back, you know, I'm like, everybody has their ownness, and you have to take responsibility in whatever your part or your piece is, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah. And you know what, like, life, you know, it goes on and you learn from it. And like, for me, like, the documentary and also the show were a way for me to like look back and kind of put all those things aside and like put them to bed, you know, to sort of have closure for like a lot of stuff. And like, that's what it was for me more than anything else. It was like, just, you know, you reflect on your life and you're like, wow, that was all really fucked up. But
I know. I
coming
like, even
through
looking
it,
back on it, I'm like,
yeah. And it's made you the person that you are today. So then you can look back at it and say, like, I understand what happened there, and seeing things with my adult eyes now, I understand why things happened the way they did. And, you know, maybe things could have been different, but like, when you're young and you're faced with all that stuff, like, can you really, like, your emotional capacity and your communication and all of those things are just not even fully developed yet. So you can't.
Yeah, you don't have those faculties.
Like, with you can't expect things to have gone, you know, any better than they did. And like, yeah, like there was a lot of communication breakdown, but like, when you're only 16 years old, like, how else are you expected
do you communicate?
To fucking act, right? Like, it's just
teenage girls.
Yeah, I know.
Well, have you seen Mean Girls or like any other movie about teenage girls? Like, how do you think that they're going to act toward each other? Probably not in the friendliest way, but then they all grow up and guess what? They're not mean women. Yeah. There are still some girls like I went to high school with that were like fucking total bitches in high school, and they've grown up and like they're still total bitches in high school.
Fuck those people.
And we all know, like, we all know who, like, the people you're talking about, not any specific person. It's like, oh, remember that girl who was like a huge bitch in high school?
Yeah.
She's still a huge bitch.
She's still a huge bitch.
In high school. That's acting like she's in high school. But it's, I think, again, like, it's good that the Kittie thing won't leave us. And it has left us in a good place where we have this big family and we are united, even though we don't see each other all the time. When we do, there's like this big magical thing that happens, like this big lightning in a bottle thing that happens. We're always excited to see each other and buzzing around each other. And like some of us, like even before the show, had never even hung out like in person before, in real life. Like we knew each other online.
And it's interesting that chemistry, like, it doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Like, it's still there, right? even though, like, a lot of people hadn't hung out together. Like, the whole show aspect of that, like with the London thing, was cool because it was like, you know, you're in a room and like you're there and Fallon's there and Tara's there and, you know, Ivy and Jeff, and we're all just like hanging out together, you know, Mercedes and I with you guys. And it's just like, it was like fucking like folding space time, you know, like,
it was these like a weird different time machine
eras of your life, like, you know, all sort of coming together and like meeting each other, you know, chilling out and just like
weird, like Inception shit. It was
like it was really cool. And that like when Jen needed to sound check and she hadn't finished like setting up her bass and she picked up your bass to sound check, that was incredible because it was like literally
that was the bomb
on her and she's like playing it and it's like she was this like tiny ass little fucking bass, but like just so
like
funny.
Jen is like used to like attacking the shit.
Well, like, she's because she's got a Warwick and those things they're big.
She's also got a third arm that just is a bass. Like
totally.
She's like, there are certain musicians
and it's a bass.
And it's a bass. It's a big fat bass dick. And she fucking plays the shit of it. Oh, her picking up my tiny little short scale bass.
That was so funny
cute on her. Because like we just like crushed burgers before that. We like because there was like an A&W like inside the venue, like walk up window. And I was like, you want to go crush? Like Jen and I had never hung out like IRL. Like is what the kids say now.
Yeah.
IRL in real life. So fucking Jen and I went and like crushed some burgers because I was pregnant as fuck. So she's like, want to go crush some burgers? I'm like, you just asked the right fucking pregnant bitch. So she went and got hers like without a bun and whatever. And I was like, I will take the bun. This baby needs carbs. This baby. Awesome. And then the club just like filled up with just like, as I walked the floor that night, and I'm not the kind of person who really, I know you guys are super good at like, especially you and your sister, you're good at like talking to people and going to the crowds and like talking to fans. And you're so good with how you interact with them. I am just awkward. And that's just the way I've always.
Well, I don't think so.
I don't. Oh God, I do. I'm always like, what am I going to say? That's stupid. And like,
fuck it.
Person, like friend will be like talking and like the new friend I'm meeting in person that I probably talked to on the internet 100 times and been like, I'm so cool. And then they meet me in real life and they're just like, wow, you're a lot.
They're like, that girl that bit the crotch out of the blow-up doll, she's something else.
Woo! So I'm just like, I'm gonna go hang out backstage like with all the, I'm just go be quiet and not say anything that's probably gonna fucking offend somebody. Like that's like always like my like go-to. But that club filled up with like so many of our friends and so many like memories. I even remember like being with Edie and we were just like hugging each other, like Brandon Edie, because he was helping like with the show and helping put it together and everything. And he had always like books for that venue and he's just a lovely guy. We went to public school together.
Right. And like, isn't that amazing that like all these people that were involved in like all these different facets of like our life, like we're able to still be a part of that. Like it's
him and I were like we were like hugging each other, like crying. Like we were just, it was awesome. It was just awesome. Cause like we had the tribute to Trish and everything like that.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Mm-hmm. But it was amazing to have her presence there.
Yeah.
And to have her, like to have her whole family there. And just, I felt like she was there. I felt like she was there.
Totally.
I really, really did.
Yeah. Like that was a rough part of it for sure. Because I know that she desperately wanted that show to happen. And she desperately wanted to be able to come back to play.
And just for Kittie to be back.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was something that
I kind of thought what was going to happen.
I know. I mean, I did as well. And, you know, like I remember around that time of the time of her death, like not really knowing because like the nature of, you know, the movie industry and the music industry is like this as well. It's like, you know, you don't know. And then it's on, right? And like
the entertainment industry, there's no warning ever.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what it was like, you know, and you know, Trish and I were very close, you know, she was one of my closest friends. Yeah. And, you know, at that time, like I didn't have an answer like for her. And like, I don't know, maybe if I did, it might've given her more reason to keep going or something. I don't know. Like it's a really hard, hard thing to try to reconcile in your mind. And you know it was months after she had passed that finally that summer it ended up that it was like, okay, well, I think we know that this is going to be the release date. This is when we booked the theater. You know, we didn't have that long.
No, we actually had a pretty short period of time to get it ready. Like we were like Mercedes' basement, like you, myself, and Mercedes, like sending stuff to Fallon, and like
like it was it ended up being very quick. But yeah, that's just the nature of things. It's like you know with these types of projects, like, and I didn't realize it was going to take, like, it took 4 fucking years for the whole thing to fucking come out.
Yeah, and I only realized this since I've had a relationship with a filmmaker, that this is actually how movies are made. I'm like, I didn't know you just go make a movie and then you just fucking go put it in the theater and it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had to do all this other shit.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, putting it together and then funding and like, you know, interviews, and then once you get all that, then there's all the like paperwork bullshit, like fucking insurance and legal stuff, and like back and forth with contracts and all that stuff too, which is like crazy. And like, you know, the movie has been done for a year, but you still have to do all the other shit too. You got to pay all the right people to, you know, put it in, do the theater thing, and then all the production for pressing the, you know, and like then you go through all the like the cover stuff, like, because we also had to do that. And then we also ended up with Origins Evolutions pairing it with like a CD, you know, because it was a digipack, so you have your DVD and your Blu-ray and your CD, that was like, all live stuff from the different eras too. So it's like all that shit ended up having to be put together, and it just like it literally was 4 years, like from the time that we did the Indiegogo, was 2014, and then it was released in 2018.
Yeah, and I remember because I was just looking at those pictures the other day, and I remember because Trish shot all of them.
Yeah,
and I remember that. Oh, she just like, she was at your mom's house, like your mom's like second house, like that house, like the really bright one by Coronation there.
Yeah,
and like everything was like really bright, and I remember it was like really fun, and like Ivy had come up and everything, and she like brought some beer with her, and
we had a bunch of snacks. I remember Mercedes and I went and bought like a bunch of cheese.
You guys bought so much cheese and meat and like charcuterie type things. There was like cheese and meat and relishes and bread, and like kind of the things like your parents would put out for us when we'd have band practice.
Yeah, that was
like
always nice.
Your parents wouldn't put out like bowls of chips. They weren't like chip and dip like parents.
No.
They're like, your mom was like, hey, you guys want a charcuterie board?
Yeah. Delicious meat, dried meats. Well, like you want it to be like a fucking, you know, it's not like it was like an event, but you want to make sure that everybody's like, you know, feels comfortable, and like, because like it kind of was a little bit awkward, like, because at that point in time, Talina was still like on board with everything. So it was like she came, her and Fallon showed up, and that was like kind of crazy.
Everybody was like there
and weird. Yeah, it was really cool. And you know, of course you want to make sure everybody feels comfortable, and like Trish was all over that shit, you know. It was really cool that she had
Trish made that day flow. She was the only thing in person and energy that made that day go as well as it did.
Yeah. Well, and because she's like an incredible you know, videographer and photographer as well. Like we had the white, you know, backdrop set up, and like
she had all the lights. She shot the alcohol, so she's just amazing.
Yeah, she was really super great at that, and it makes that I miss that aspect. I mean, obviously, like that, you know, we were very close friends, and you know, made music together and toured together and lived together. But like, I miss that part too, you know, because it's like sometimes, you know, you're just like, oh man, I just wish that Trish was here to like take these photos, or like to help out with, you know, a video that you have a great idea for, or like just to collaborate on something, like,
because she's so techy. She'd be like, oh yeah, and then she'd get it right done, and she'd send it right back to you.
Type so fast, and like she did such a great job of editing that whole campaign video. Like she did all the product shots and everything, like edited everything up all nice. Like basically that was just her thing. Like but all the while she made everybody like feel so comfortable and so welcome, because you say, like you say, the vibe wasn't completely like, woo, we're all best friends at first. It was
it was very strange, and it was there was some tenseness going on. And Trish, I don't want to know what kind of fucking magic that you work, but Trish worked her magic, and it was just like all the tenseness.
She was always just so very like upbeat, and like always like on the go, and like walking fast and like moving fast, and like just like getting it done and shit like that. And so it was like that, I think, kind of helped, you know. She's an easy person.
Oh yeah, and she was like an easy person whose like energy was easy to absorb, because it was so bright and just jumpy and bouncy and fun.
Always
and
talking, just, like, always like nonstop talking, nonstop going for shit, you know.
I think that's the way her and I got along. I don't know how in the fuck we ever like had a conversation, because I remember having lots of conversations with her. I remember right before she left for Australia, and I was like super pregnant, and I'd gone to her goodbye party when we'd been to the Rent Club or whatever. Yeah. And everyone was just sitting around eating popcorn, waiting for their food. And and I remember she patted me on my big fat pregnant stomach, and she said, "Oh, Tanya, I'm gonna have so much fun watching your child grow up on the internet."
Oh my God.
And you know what? That was the last time I talked to her.
Yeah.
That was the last time I talked to her, because she'd come down after my first was born.
Yeah, that summer. She came down before. Yeah, it was 2016, the summer 2016.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, and you know the reasons, I couldn't get out to visit anybody. And fuck, I wish I had been out, because that was the last conversation I fucking had with her. The last thing I said to her. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have fun watching your baby grow up on the internet." I'm like, no, you'll be back. And then the last thing after that, I sang a song for her after she passed on. And her mom and her sister and her brother approached me and said, "Would you," because you were speaking a eulogy for her, which had to be not so easy.
No, it was not easy. But I feel like there's like I have a weird thing where there's like a public speaking, like I'm not great at public speaking. I can't do it, but like there's like a thing that just switches in my mind where you can just go on autopilot, like performer autopilot. And so that was like a fucking that was a devastating day. Like that whole memorial, her whole like thing, like there was so many people there, and it was just like fucking unbelievable. But as soon as I got up there, I feel like I held it together.
You did. You completely held it together, and you just said everything.
Well, actually, there was one moment I remember I didn't hold it together, but that's okay, because that's what it's about.
That's perfectly okay.
Yeah, it was pretty wild to like to do that. I don't know, like how do you like encapsulate a person in like a fucking 5-minute thing to say? Like you can't do
because
that.
They give you like they give you like a time like limit, and you're supposed to like say goodbye to your friend like that. And then Trisha's mom, and I will say, like with this performer mode thing, I was the same way. Trisha's mom and sister were like, "Will you sing at her funeral?" And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I can emotionally. I'm like, no, she'd want me to. I'm like, no, fuck this. I'm doing this. So the same thing, performer mode. I don't remember singing at Trisha's memorial at all. I remember every other part of it, but I have no fucking recollection just, like, of getting up there and singing for her. Yep. I was just like, bye. I'm just doing this for Trish right now. This is not.
You did a great job.
Oh, I don't remember, but thank you.
Yeah, no, I remember singing the Cranberries. Oh, I can't even think about it. Let's change the subject. It's making me sad.
Every time I used to actually go to the real grocery store, like remember when things were normal and we could go to the grocery store and they had music playing instead of propaganda? Because I hear that now when you go to the grocery store, this is what you hear through the loudspeaker. Please do your part at social distancing. We're all doing our part to keep others healthy. Please maintain at least 2 meters of distance. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like in between like the songs. Like I've heard it at the grocery store before.
Have you? Like I'm an asshole when I get my groceries delivered because just medical stuff, and you know why I am.
Yeah.
So they get delivered to like the porch or whatever, and like I don't think I could handle it. Like I just remember going to the grocery store and like listening to Heart or something, or listening to like there were certain times that I like to go to the grocery store and listening to like, because if you go early in the morning, they always have classic rock on, and they have like Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and they have Heart, like something that we'd go see in concerts. Oh, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts and Heart. That reminds me. Do you remember that time we went to go see Heart?
That was fucking incredible. Holy shit.
And hilarious.
They were amazing.
Fuck. We went to go see Heart for my birthday. I know I'm getting there too. I'm just wiggly.
That was an incredible show. Fucking.
That was something. Like, want to go see Heart for my birthday?
Singing alone when she's like, like I remember.
Oh my god, your face turned to me and you were like bawling your eyes out.
Shit like that makes me cry. Like good voices like that, and I know it sounds weird, but like even when you hear like Celine Dion hit a note, I'd like eyes will just like immediately start watering because I'm like,
oh yeah,
like,
I can't help it.
Like that fucking bitch. So good.
Dude, sometimes even when it's Mariah Carey, I'm just like,
oh, she's good too. She's good too.
She's just, it comes out like anyone.
Yeah.
Like it just, there are certain singers and like vocalists that like when you hear them sing, it just makes your like hair stand up. It happened to my kid, one of my kids the other day. We're sitting in the kitchen. Really? What the fuck were we listening to? Oh, we were listening to ELO. And
ELO is like Mercedes' favorite.
I know she loves it. And he loves Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We were listening to Mr. Blue Sky and I had like, a record on and he's like, Mom, what's happening to my body? I'm like are you okay? Because he's diabetic. So I'm like, are you okay?
And you're like, oh, are you going into like a
diabetic? Are you low? Yeah. And he's like, no, all the little wolf hairs on my arm are standing at attention. I'm like, you really digging this tune, huh? He's like, yeah, it's like I feel it in my whole self. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It was like one of those like silent fucking like parenting wins. I was just like,
yeah, we were like, they're gonna turn out to be musicians and artists, and you're gonna have your hands full, and then you're gonna know what it was like to parent. Oh my God, I already know.
Like, my mom will say things to me like, she's like, you weren't quite as like spicy as like your daughter. Like, she's like, never, but she's just spirited. She's like, I mean, she's the product of Rob and I. Like, what the fuck did you think you were going to get when you put that together?
Yeah. And when she's fronting a punk band when she's 16, then you'll know.
Yep.
And Rob will be standing around with a shotgun.
Yep. Because anyone who's going to want to touch baby Sherry Curry, she was listening to the fucking Runaways yesterday with me. And she was just like, she had her hands up and I was like, oh no. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I'm like, you're never allowed to be in a girl band.
Right? She's going to be fronting a band, not wearing any pants, Tanya.
But like, oh my God, like our conversation at the breakfast table this morning, like these kids are never going to like, we have to keep conversations like PG, but we still want to talk about adult stuff. So it's like, how do you do this without turning your children into people that are going to run away and start a metal band? So
you just got to let it happen.
We were talking about Andrew WK for some reason. Okay. And we were talking about, because I follow Andrew WK on Instagram and I also follow Kat Dennings. And I had seen on Facebook, someone was like, oh, Kat Dennings and Andrew WK are dating. And I was like, oh, adorable. Two of the most beautiful people ever are dating. They're going to make beautiful children. That's all I could think of, right? And then like a couple days ago on Instagram, I see that they're like engaged. I'm like, oh, that was fast. They just started kind of dating. And so I kind of like checked it out. But WK's got all these pictures of him on Instagram, kind of from like the waist up. And he has like no clothes on. You can see, he'll say like photo by Kat Dennings or whatever it is. And you'll see his, what I call Ken parts or Weiner Wings. It's like, you know what I'm talking about? Like on the $10 the Barbie doll. Like down here, like in the man parts before, like, I mean, when you have a Ken doll or an action figure, right before you see his, penis, because like Harrison's learning private part words in school, right? He's like, my teacher said penis today. I'm like, I bet you she's one too. Like who would I tell you? Like, I didn't want to say it. I didn't say it, but I'm thinking in my mind. Yeah. I was like, oh, she did? She said penis? He's like, she also said vagina. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, the Weiner Wings. And so of course, Rob's like, he's fucking like already like spitting his breakfast like all over the place. Like, what the fuck are Weiner Wings? I'm like, it's like the man part that guides you down to the prize, right? So Andrew WK, he's got all these pictures of himself like from the Weiner Wings up with no shirt on. And to me, Andrew WK is like perpetually like 18 years old. Like he hasn't aged. I can't look at it. He has no hair on his body.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look. I literally haven't looked at what he looks like for 20 years. So.
But he looks the same, but he just has this long hair. And I don't see Andrew WK as anything more than Weiner Wings up and fucking horse legs. That's all I can think of.
Horse legs.
When I think of Andrew WK, and when you see these pictures,
I'm gonna look after. Yeah.
You know what? Do you have your phone like with you? Because if you do, I need to look up Andrew WK and on his Instagram right now and just imagine a horse body on that shit, because I need to know, because I need to know.
Okay.
If I'm the only one who imagines this weirdness.
Let's see, Andrew. Oh, there he is. Are we okay? Like, what is going on here? He does look a little older.
A bit.
Yep, Weiner Wings. Yep, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Weiner Wings. But imagine now with a horse body.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a
like
centaur.
A horse body on top of that shit.
Yeah.
He is a centaur. Big time. Yeah. Just like his mane like flowing in the fucking wind. I don't know if you've seen that Disney movie. Oh. What the hell is it called?
I don't watch
it's a new games. It's like a Pixar movie for kids. You would love it. It's about like wizards and like trolls.
Well,
and
wizards
stuff.
are cool.
Yeah, it's about these kids who try to bring their what's it called? One of the kids in it's like a heavy metal like Jack Black troll who wears like metal things and plays like D&D and
is it like is it actually trolls? Like is it like
no, it's
treasure
it's
trolls?
Pixar.
Like remember
no.
that we
no, not treasure trolls with like the belly in them. Although my kids love trolls.
Yeah,
fucking hair
fucking cool.
Up. Fucking trolls. I love
those
trolls
cool.
because Queen Barb wants to take over the world with fucking metal and rock and roll. Trolls. She's trying to steal all the strings from all the other trolls. And Ozzy Osbourne's her dad. This is the great thing about becoming a parent and like having like a musical metal background.
Yeah. You know who all these people are?
Yeah, they're in kids' movies and they're playing the music.
So weird. What the fuck?
If the kids are like, want to watch Trolls? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to watch Trolls. The question is, do you want to watch Trolls on tour? Like, fuck yeah, I want to watch Trolls. Like, that's what I'm saying in my head. But I'm like, yeah, let's watch Trolls. Let's just like pop some popcorn and watch Trolls right now. I love Trolls. There's certain movies that I've seen like a few times, but
yeah, like the movie Troll. Is that what you're talking about? With the singing mushroom Galwin.
Peas porridge. Oh my god. So cute. And also like Atreyu is Harry Potter as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And his name is Harry Potter in the movie. That is an incredible movie. The second one, not so much.
Cure for the summertime blues. Bow, wow, wow, wow.
There's so many. Yeah, that's a great movie. And so isn't Sonny Bono in it as well? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he is, and he like turns into like a troll sort of plant. Like the music to that movie.
Yeah,
is so
there's
awesome.
Like some crazy like there's like a one piece that was composed where all the little trolls are singing in the
yes.
It's like no, and
we
then
watched
the mushroom
like
sings. That was one of those movies that we watched when we were really young. Yeah,
all the time. We watched it Mercedes says like on a VHS because I had it like on a VHS, and it had that little troll with like the stinging ring, and then they did what the unthinkable and came out with fucking Troll 2.
You mean the worst movie ever?
Awesome. The best thing they could fucking possibly do was. Have you guys done Troll 2 on Witchfinger?
No.
I don't think you have because I'm like, I don't think I've heard you.
I'm trying to think.
I've heard you talk about it, but have you done the movie?
I don't know. I gotta look this up now.
I swear I've heard you like address it. I know, like since
like I feel like because since we haven't been able to get together to actually record that.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, "Oh, what podcast episode was that on?" I'm like, I have fucking no idea.
Oh no, we did Troll 2. It was like super early on though. Yeah, it was our 13th
Okay, I'm like, so I did hear it then. Yeah, I remember you talking about Nilbog and like the popcorn.
Yeah, the sexy popcorn and
the sex popcorn scene.
All that shit. Fucking so weird. There was a bunch of movies that we used to watch. Like I can remember we watched House a lot. We rented that and watched that at your parents' place when we had sleepovers. Yeah. And
all the time we get ourselves House.
Yeah, Dead Alive.
And
that was
Dead
another
Alive.
one. Mm-hmm. That was
Peter
another
Jackson.
one that
Peter Jackson phone.
Yeah, we rented that one quite a bit and watched it. Those two were the ones that I remember like the most. But like those when you're a kid, you always like you like rent the movie over and over again. Like every sleepover, you're like, let's watch Dead Alive. You know, like once a month or something. Yeah.
Let's watch Crazy Fat Ethel.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a movie that I've been trying to get my fucking hands on forever because that whole like scenario of us being on that tour. And if you remember, it was Ambassador Video in Byron.
Yes.
The one guy that worked there was like pals with my dad. He was like a young guy, but like he let us take a bunch of movies with us on that very first tour that we did.
Yeah, we borrowed like Terror on Tour. It was like crazy.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of movies like that. Like I remember Crazy Fat Ethel 2 and Terror on Tour were the two that I remember the most. But we just wanted like we took a bunch of movies and we watched VHS all across that tour for 2 weeks across the, northeastern United States in that little loop that we did. And Crazy Fat Ethel 2 was a movie that I've been trying to get my hands on ever since.
Now, is it rare or is it super expensive?
It doesn't come up that often. Like, and I like look a lot at like on the VHS community and whatnot. It doesn't come up that often, but I did see it on eBay recently, and it was up for like it goes probably for like $50 or $60 US.
That's steep. Is it? I mean, it's a great film, but that's wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get my hands on it. Like I did end up with a copy of Terror on Tour, thanks to somebody that Witchfinger and myself and the girls know through the VHS community. So I have a copy of Terror on Tour now, finally, which is awesome. Nice. And I watched it and it's great. And it's like,
it's still awesome.
Everything that I remembered it to be. So like, that's fucking really cool as well. So yeah,
I'll tell you, when you girls can get like together again and record, or when you do record, you need to do an episode on fucking Castle Freak.
Oh, see, that would be really good. That would be
a
movie I haven't watched in a little bit, but I remember.
I know.
Because Castle Freak, his dick. Poor guy.
Oh my God, that poor dick. I don't even feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the dick.
I know,
horrible.
Poor Castle Freak's dick. So poor sad.
Richard. Don't be a Richard.
Poor Richard.
Dick. Poor Richard. Richard the Third. Whoosh, gone.
Yeah, Richard the Third. Didn't they find his body under a parking lot?
Yep. Right underneath.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Oh my God. No, Castle Freak was definitely one of those good movies. So speaking of Witchfinger, what is on the horizon for Witchfinger? What's going on with that?
Well,
especially with pandemic.
Yeah, we haven't so this is a part of our problem is that with Witchfinger, our best work, our chemistry is when we're together in a room. Like
I agree.
Done the whole like Zoom thing and it's just not the same. And so
I understand that.
I think like it's important for us to be together and we can't. Megan also works in healthcare as well. So she has to be extra careful. Yeah. Extra careful about, who she hangs out with and whatnot because of the nature of the work that she does. And so we just haven't been able to actually get together to record in any capacity. Like right now, obviously the stay-at-home order is it's been extended until June now.
You're like June 2nd. I think we're stuck until June 2nd again.
Yeah. So it's just it's not been easy to get together and it hasn't been easy to record another episode. So like once we're, things are a little better and maybe the summer, once, a few things have lifted and more people have got their vaccines, then we'll be able to get together and actually finally record another episode. We actually did record a 50th episode, like I think it was sometime last year when we could get together. And there was some issues.
They lifted all the restrictions.
Yeah. And then, so there were some issues with the episode and we didn't end up being able to release it. Just like some audio crap or whatever. So
I was like, how come I haven't heard this?
we have to do it again. We were like, oh, we're so excited to celebrate 50 episodes. And then we couldn't get it out. So we've done a couple of like mini-sodes where we do Zoom stuff and it's like without really a topic. But we really want to get back to doing it together because it's just fun. Like we love getting
together. The style you do it, I think you get that chemistry.
Like sitting around and just having some drinks and it's like a lot of fun just to like hang out with your friends and chat and watch a movie and like usually like we make a whole night of it. It's not like going to work and like
let's go do our podcast.
Yeah, like we hang out and we get drunk before, we maybe sometimes have dinner and then record and then hang out for a few more hours afterwards and just like laugh and it's great, right? So
you just turn on a microphone while you're hanging out. Those are the best kind of podcasts. They're like organic stuff that just happens.
Yeah,
like those are the podcasts that I want to listen to.
Well, a lot of people do say that like listening to Witch Finger is it's kind of like that. Like you feel like you're part of it because we're not very professional or structured, you know, like,
so what?
But that's part of the fun, right? Like that's
exactly that is the love that people have for your podcast. That's why they feel like they're part of it. They feel like they're sitting on the couch with you watching a film. Where can you find Witch Finger podcast right now? Where is it? Where's it available?
You can get Witch Finger on Spotify. You can find us on like iTunes, if that exists anymore. That's probably some Apple products.
It's Apple Podcasts now.
Yeah, exactly. So they're Apple, and you can find our episodes on YouTube. We put the audio up on YouTube, and witchfinger.com as well. You can stream right from our website.
Nice. And you guys have an Instagram as well you can follow?
Yes, it's Instagram. I think it's Witchfinger Podcast at Witchfinger Podcast.
I think it is too.
I gotta look it up.
I drop it often. I'll drop it again, and I'll just put it on my page.
Yes, at Witchfinger Podcast. That's correct.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what it's so good at. And now, what else are you doing? Because you've done a lot. Like, even despite like being locked down and all, like, you know, using safe measures and everything, you've been able to accomplish some things. You just finished a video doing a collab with Miss S.J. Jones.
Yeah,
and
that was really
Pigs.
Cool. Yeah, so I did that.
Really fucking cool.
Kind of recently, like, she just like sent me a message, like an email, I guess, after she'd watched the documentary and was like really inspired and moved by our story, and also knew, you know, Kittie back in the day, and it was just like she reached out, like kind of just like not really apparently expecting to hear back, and I wrote her back, and I just was like, well, yeah, of course, like I'm open to whatever, like send me the song, and we chatted a little bit about it. And after I heard the song and I realized like it was getting stuck in my head a lot, that I was like, okay, I think this is probably going to be something. So, you know, I literally just recorded the vocals here and sent them off to her. And yeah, like I recorded them like with my GarageBand on my phone. Like I don't have a lot.
Are you serious?
I don't have great equipment. I'm fucking old.
Who has like a crazy rig at their house? Like no one.
Well, a lot of people do, like recording home setup stuff is like
maybe SJ does. I'm like, I would imagine she has some kind of really impressive rig. She's extremely impressive as a producer. Like
absolutely, she's done a lot of really great stuff, and like had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing people. And you know, I think it's amazing, like, you know, supporting other women in the industry, like as a producer, engineer, songwriter, like front person, all of that. It's really important to do. So yeah, like it was just really cool, and I was honored to do it, and that she asked, and we did the video, each kind of recording stuff ourselves, and then I sent my stuff to her, and she threw it all together, and that was that, and that song got released, and that was really cool.
It's like amazing. It rips so hard. Like it's such a hard hitting fucking song, and the way your guys' vocals like combine, it's perfect. Like, it's perfect. It's very new metal, but it's like in the new style, and I think that's really cool. Like, you know how we were talking earlier about how new metal has kind of come back and whatever. Like it's coming back in a little bit of a different way, and I think it's really cool that I got to be a part of that new old school.
Yeah, exactly.
People have that new old school thought process thing. I think I'm with you. I think it's awesome. When I hear these tracks and they rip and they get me so excited, I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking fired up. Oh, I can't wait to hear this track. Oh, and you know, like everyone's commenting back and forth and DMing each other and overinflating each other. But like, it's because we're just excited. It's exciting. It's new music. And like, we're doing tons of music with Karkaos.
Yeah, well, that is another thing that's like, oh my God, I can't wait to fucking get that shit going. Like the pandemic has done so much trash for fucking.
You're almost there.
So shitty for so many things. Like, you know, I joined Karkaos in 2019, and that was when we started kind of working on the next album. A lot of the ideas and songs that they had were pretty much already finished as far as like the music aspect of it. So it was just like I had demos to work with to like write lyrics and melodies and vocals and shit too, and that was really cool. And we did a couple shows together in September of 2019, and then the pandemic hit, And that was really shitty.
Blew up.
Yeah. So like I went to Montreal at the end of 2019 for a week to do some like vocal pre-production stuff and like just kind of, you know, get a good feel for it. And I was supposed to go back in like March, April of last year to finish the album vocals, but that was not to be. And it's just increasingly gotten worse and worse over the year. So it's really hard to say what will happen with that, but like the rest of the album, you know, everybody in the band, they are all amazing. They all know what they're doing. So they've all recorded all their stuff on their own. And it's just a case of me getting up there to finish my vocals, to finish the album. Because everything else
things have to loosen up and things kind of got to get better. And
so
you will get up there and you will finish it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait to see when the best time is. I'm hoping like because vaccines are happening, you know, even with the first shot, you do have a lot of immunity after like the first month.
Quite a bit of immunity. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that at least after I'm able to get my first shot, that we can plan something for the summer when things, usually with the summer, you know, things get a little bit better.
So I mean, hopefully the students will be leaving the city. So there go 25% of our cases.
Yeah, exactly. Bye. So yes, totally. But yeah, so that is something on the horizon. I would love to hurry up and finish because like the album is fucking incredible. It's so good. Everybody in the band is so talented, and it just makes me have to try to push myself and just try to be as good as everybody else. And like
that's good. That's a good project. That's like you want to push yourself.
Absolutely. I think that's as a musician or artist or anything, like having that fuel to push yourself to be better or more than what, you know, most people expect from you it's really important. And it's important to me. So like vocally anyways, like I want to be able to you know, push myself. And I think when the album comes out, people are going to lose their minds. Like, it's really fucking great.
Oh, I know people are going to lose their minds. Number one, like the weight. The weight, and then like the weight, like WEIGHT. It's just going to smack everybody in the face.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm excited to hear it. I'm like, come on, pandemic.
I know.
Hurry up. Over any time now. Like, hurry the fuck up.
Doing some shit.
Well, like one of our girlfriends like messaged me today and she's like, oh, I got my shot. I was like, oh, we got ours. I go and get my poke tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to go get shot in the arm. We are excited. I'm all stocked up on Tylenol in case I get a fever.
You never know, right?
I won't get like coronavirus. So
yes, exactly. You know? It's so worth it. And I think it's amazing. I'm so glad that you're getting it, and everybody's starting to slowly do that. I think for us,
our age group's going to be eligible now.
Yeah, I think this week coming up, our age group is like for everybody.
Yep,
it's going to be open on Thursday. So I'm gonna get up early and book as soon as I can, just so that I can get the ball rolling with.
I will tell you, if you want to go out of town, like they'll book you in Delhi for like a Pfizer shot tomorrow. You just have to look.
Really? Oh, okay.
If you're willing to drive, 76K out of the way, whatever. But for a Pfizer shot, sure.
Yeah.
I'll drive to Delhi Hospital.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's the Agriplex here. So that's what, or like we're going to a clinic. Like, so some doctors' clinics have shots and stuff like that. The health unit gives them incentives. And so our doctor clinic, I call the doctor a lot, of course, because our son is diabetic. Like, hey, you want to get your shots? Like, yes. I do want to get shots.
So
I'm just like
the Agriplex though, like, so is that the only place to get it? Because like my mom got her shot like last month and they sent her somewhere else.
They have different sites depending on what they have and what freezers they have. So whether they've got Moderna or Pfizer, depends where you go. Some people go to like a health unit, some people go to the hospital, some people go to the Agriplex, but which is it's weird in itself because it's like you're all being herded in like animals, and
the
only thing there's like
sold off like cattle.
But you know what? Put that microchip in my arm. I am ready to
Bill
hug.
Gates put those nanobots in.
Oh, I want to hug you. I want to hug. I want to just get a shirt that says like fully vaccinated and ready to fucking hug. I'm just ready to hug everyone.
Oh,
seriously.
I know it's going to be great. It's been a long time. It's been like weird, and for some people maybe good. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's certainly allowed for a lot of reflection and thought. Yes. I think about life and everything like that. You know, I know a lot of people have had a really hard time though as well. So it's like,
yeah, and I really feel for a lot of people. They're like, they're losing their homes and their businesses, but there are things that you can focus on that are not as bad. Like you say, there is a lot of time to think about things and really put things into perspective and maybe piece things together where they actually need to go. Kind of look at them through different eyes. Like, like right now, Ontario is not doing so great. Like if you compare us against everybody else, Ontario's not looking so great. So
no, we're not doing amazing. And like, it's weird that things have kind of turned around and like Canada is not in the best spot right now.
It's funny to see how people are dealing with it too, because before they're like, look at America, they're all fucking dying,
right? And now
we're like, oh, come to Canada. And now we're fucked a little bit. And
I know
Canadian people are having a very hard time dealing with it and dealing with stay-at-home orders, and they're fucking having problems with losing their freedoms, and the government's controlling us, and there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff out there, and and at the end of the day, all of it's just stuff.
Yeah,
but there sure is a lot of it. There sure is a lot of it.
Sure is a lot of stuff.
Holy you can get down that you can get down that rabbit hole of stuff. That's why I just stay off Facebook. If you want to go on social media, go on our Instagrams. Where can they find you on Instagram?
On Instagram. Ooh, well, on my personal Instagram, where I would show many pictures of cats, which is important, and also talk about anything that's like going on with me, is Dial M for Morgan. I'm thinking about changing it though. I'm thinking about like being more professional and getting like the real check mark and stuff.
Like the Morgan Lander.
Yeah, but like somebody actually already has Morgan Lander, and that's their last name. And I've sent them messages to try to get them to change it, and they never look at my messages.
What? Change your last name, fucking Queen Morgan of Lander?
Yeah, no, so this person's last name is Morgan Lander, and so this is her Instagram. And I've messaged many times to try to be like, hey, like I would love to be able to discuss this. Of course, it was professional.
Sure, but it's just funny,
sounding nice or whatever. But yeah, they just haven't. Anyway, so I'd like to be able to do that eventually, but we'll see. Anyways, Dial in for Morgan for now. And also, I am the one that posts mostly on the official Kittie Instagram as well, which is just @officialkittie. And so all those magic nostalgia nuggets that are on there are mostly me just like scouring the internet and posting cool stuff, because we always got some little project going on there, a little legacy project thing.
There's some weird Easter egg shit going on.
Yeah, and we're still got lots of that stuff coming up, so be on the lookout for more of that kind of magic in the future.
There's some, you said there were some things to look out for coming down the pipe.
Yes, I can't really announce anything yet, but there's going to be some cool, more nostalgia type projects.
Just keep your metal ass ears to the metal ass ground, and you're going to find out. You might hear. Yeah. Maybe it's a project of all farting into microphones, which I would personally buy.
That actually, metal. Somebody would buy it.
Oh, like I'd buy it. I wouldn't want that microphone after though.
No,
but I would buy it.
Ooh.
Everybody knows where you can find my uninteresting ass. You can find me on Instagram at 21st Century Rocker Mom. I'm always on there being an asshole. You can find me on TikToking it up, just roasting myself fucking constantly at 21st Century Rocker Mom. You can find me on my YouTube, just Tanya Candler channel. Hit subscribe if you want to see any of these videos. You'll see the little bell button come up. I don't do Facebook anymore because I keep getting Facebook banned and I keep getting Facebook deals. So it's just, obviously Facebook is not a place for me, but thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. That's it. So we will see you guys on another episode of 21st Century Rocker Mom. Morgan, it was lovely to chat with you today.
I know, we could literally talk forever. It's crazy.
And like we probably would.
I love you. You're amazing, Tanya. This is your fucking calling right here. This is so awesome. So I hope
it certainly wasn't going to be the nunnery. It was not going to be the nunnery.
No, not with those naked chicken fingers.
No. And, who the fuck fucks to a documentary? Boring people. That's We're going to leave you with that. You guys are fucking crazy. We love you fucking freaks. Love.
Bye.
We'll see y'all on the interweb, you fucking downloading motherfuckers.